And so when we talk about all of the education and the stuff, I think some of the biggest travesty that we have inside of real estate and probably even lending and that facet, not only do we not have the education, no one shows anybody, like, how do you go find a deal? Yeah, you talked about marketing, but we put people in there, they get their license, they're super excited, they show up, and then we go find one. And they're like, well, where do I start? What do I do? And you're like, well, you've got that thing in your pocket or in your purse that's got all those names on it. Just start calling them. Well, what am I going to say? Tell them you're in real estate. We make it sound so simple, like that.
Throw you to the wolves.
Yeah. And then we have an expectation of people, and I think it's interesting. And when you talked about all the different levels of ethics, to me, I'm like, we just don't tell people, like, we don't tell them anything. Mm-hmm. They go starting their business. It's like, I went and opened a store. I don't have a cash register. I don't know where my inventory's at. I don't know anything, but the door is open and someone can walk in and they want to come buy my goods. Well, I don't even know, like,
pricing.
How do I even tell them what to do? Mm-hmm. And so that's it. Is it not almost equivalent?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have that education now. You should understand contracts and the law and your fiduciary commitment and all these basics. But then that's a whole nother animal when you get out there. Well, it's why the stats, the survival rate stats in this business have always been really similar. It's somewhere around 80 or 90% don't survive the first year. It's a little bit better the second year. So they just drop out. Like you say, that void just keeps getting filled with rookies. But if you make it your third year, you're probably good. Right. Yeah, you're probably going to make it.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's a difference. Some people will say, well, I was licensed for 3 years and then doing business for 3 years. Massive difference. Or I've had real estate agents tell me, hey, I've done this for 20 years and I've never had anyone ask me for that, or I've never seen that before. Then I say, okay, if we took, I do this professionally, if we took how many transactions I've been involved in and how many transactions you've been involved in over the last 20 years, you might be surprised on how many I've been involved in. This isn't the first time that this request has been out, and this is the only time in my 20 years that someone's told me they haven't seen this in 20 years. So where are we right now? So a lot of times I don't like people to tell me how many years they've been doing it. I like to know how many transactions. And you and I when we had first started talking, said 500 transactions. It's a lot. For any real estate, that is a lot of transactions.
It's a lot of transactions.
I know immediately. Well, I'll never say we've seen it all, because I still go, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. But you've seen a lot in 500.
A lot of scenarios.
And so there's a different level of trust when someone says that versus I've been doing this for 10 years or 15 years. Yeah. I don't know what that means. You've been full-time job for 15 or 10 years and you've had your license. Well, you've maybe done...
You've had your license.
Yeah, if you've done 20...